All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel. As always, glad to have you here. Let's talk a little bit about free-to-play team synergies. So I got a lot of feedback in the last video, and you know what? I thought, this is a good topic to bring up, is that I went over the best teams in the game, and people were like, what do I do if I'm not a millionaire? And I'm like, that's a valid statement. And I thought to myself, so if you are fully free to play, what are the teams that you should be building? And I have created a list. Now, I am actually saved doing this until after the buffs because there was a lot of epics that got buffed. And those buffs dynamically changed some of these teams. I will actually tell you right now, these are not in any particular order because originally I will say this, Block is still the best free-to-play team in the game, bar none. Like, there's not even a question about that. Block is the best free-to-play team in the game. And I'm going to talk about why I think that. I will say currently, if you are playing right now, this video will come out on Thursday, October 2nd. The Sacrifice team is the second most free-to-play friendly team right now. So let's talk a little bit about, so the first three are not in any particular order. And then the last two are, I think, the best two free-to-play teams because of what's going on. Now, what makes a team free-to-play? And that's accessibility to players without having to spend an arm and a leg to get them. And that means you're going to minimize your legendaries. So I am assuming, and I'm going to do this right here on the list part, that you have, I'm going to just do a little bit of some video magic. Okay. I'm assuming you have these three legendaries and only these three, which is why one of these teams is at the very bottom of the list and it'll make sense later. You have Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor. These are the three because Wonder Woman you pick up from the newcomer banner. Lex Luthor is a fusion you get for free. And then Aquaman, you should summon for him right now since he's out. Again, these are the three characters I'm assuming you have. I'm going to say this right now. I have the Debuff team here because it is free to play friendly in its structure, but it also assumes that you have Sinestro. I'm putting this at the lowest tier, not because it's bad, but because of an accessibility issue. If you don't have Sinestro, then don't even bother trying to build this team because you don't have the team synergy for it. So take note of that. Secondly, that I'm only assuming this because epics are much easier to pull. I will be using no other legendaries to devise these teams in any way, shape, or form. So just so you know, and I got a lot of feedback because I don't have Hal, I don't have this. I'm assuming you have these three legendaries. And again, this is a special case in case you do have him. Everything else is not. Now, you will also note what team is not here. Mr. T and, there's two teams not here, Mr. T and Judo Master's anti-hero team, because they are not free to play right now. They will be later. They will not be right now. Again, I am making this video October 2nd. It's posted October 2nd, 2025. So I'm trying to make this as free to play friendly as possible. I will move him up here. Now, again, I'm assuming you have these characters. So let's start. Now, this is, again, Debuff is at the lowest because Debuff assumes that you have Sinestro, which many people don't. If you have this, let's talk about what are the best characters to run on this team. And I will say, other than this list does not change, I'm going to let this, let me show you the full. Okay. So Bizarro is getting a buff. Bizarro is very good. You can replace Bizarro with John Stewart. The only reason I actually think at badge 30, John Stewart is the best tank for this team at badge 30, but that is an investment. This team is much more free to play friendly. You don't need the same level of investment. You can put a lot of that investment in Sinestro. So your main tank is Grodd, off tank is Bizarro, one of your main DPS is Batman, another main DPS is going to be Sinestro, and then the support will be Raven. This team also in the previous list is not very different. Why? Because this team is actually pretty free to play friendly. You can replace Bizarro with so many characters. You can put Lex Luthor here. You can put Bizarro here. You can actually change this out if you have badge 30 John Stewart and put John Stewart here. I will think is he the best tank there? No, because he wants to be run with other Green Lanterns, but I actually think Lex or Bizarro works here. Either one does their job just fine. So I think This is a very free-to-play friendly team. It runs on mostly epics, which is why I really enjoy this team. Again, you can put Lex Luthor here. So this is why, but it assumes you have Sinestro, and you need a rank 8, at least a rank 8 Sinestro for this team to work, because you need to run him with an artifact. Okay, that's, again, it is the least free-to-play friendly in terms of the team synergy, but beyond that one legendary, the team is overall run by epics. All right, let's keep going. Okay, now AoE team. This is a great team if you have him to badge, his team synergy at rank 3 or level 3, him rank 10. So it's a rank 10, level 3 team synergy. Bane is a phenomenal tank here. He does an AoE that can now stun and silence because of the team synergy. She is very tanky. You build her a little bit more on the tanky side here, like 4 block, 2 HP. And you just let her block, and then she has an auto crit with her artifact. Zatanna's giving, frantic to everyone and some lifesteal, keeping everybody alive. Constantine's giving them all strong attack and recuperate, and this team is very attack heavy, so that actually works. And then with the healing, and it does its thing. Now with Zatanna is a buff to Zatanna is actually a buff now to Bane, because lifesteal is now considered a form of healing. This is actually incredibly good for Bane, because now that means Bane is getting that healing procs with the lifesteal. So this team actually works a lot better than it used to, because lifesteal is now considered a form of healing. I will tell you this though, this team will struggle as you progress, because it will struggle against the single target. Bosses get much stronger as the game goes on, to the point where they can really hurt you. You might get rid of their ads, but then you're going to time out on the boss because you just don't have enough damage for the boss. I do worry about AoE in the sense that it will struggle late game at killing bosses. It's not that great at killing bosses. And when you start getting late 30s, 40s, those bosses are very problematic to deal with. And if you don't have the damage to take them out, you will time out the game. So just take note of that. Overall, though, team is very good. I do think it's very free-to-play friendly. I will say this for this team. It's an easy team to start. This is a great team for the first 25 levels. This team, literally you buy the one, again, I know I'm saying buy. You buy the $1 Green Arrow pack, and then pick up Wonder Woman as your newcomer. And you don't need to change this team for 25 levels. With Bane and Wonder Woman being your tanks in the front, Zatanna, Constantine, and Arrow in the back, and you just let the team go to town, and it will work just fine. That thing will take you through easily the first 25 levels. Easily. With how much damage it's outputting, stunning. You just, get some lucky stuns if you're getting stuck on a level. Lucky stun them. Pop them off. You're good. The ads are more of a problem in the earlier than they are in the later part of the game. At least for me, I have found ads to be much more problematic in the beginning versus the end. In the end now, bosses are becoming the issue, because bosses have so much HP. So that's where I'm at right now. Okay, let's go on to now a team that got buffed recently. Let's talk about this team. Okay, now you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, Mr. Squirrel, I thought you said this is free to play. Guy's not free to play. He's going to be. So now this is assuming post buffs. So people that are prepping, I would prep for this. This team will become very good in the very near future. Insanely good. I'm going to be frank with y'all. This team will be cracked. Now, another thing, you don't need Guy here. You can actually replace this with Constantine. Now, the reason I like Guy here is because you're getting another Green Lantern. And that adds some nice little juice to John. John got one of the biggest buffs in the game in the new Brother Eye update. Jess and John got some of the biggest buffs I've seen. They are phenomenal. With Lex and Guy, Jess is going to be supercharged on her shields. She's going to be getting so much shield procs to her shield that she'll be sitting at high stacks all the time. And this team is going to do some crazy stuff, y'all. And I'm going to just tell people, I think this is a very free to play friendly team. When you look at this team, Guy, if you have, Guy is going to be sitting with so much damage reduction with Kronas. It's nuts. Because with John, 1, 2, 3, they get an auto 12% damage reduction. With Lex's team synergy, they get another 12% when shielded. So he's sitting at start a fight, as long as he's got a little shield on him, 24% damage reduction. Now, he will auto throw out Baltimore's Chop. With Kronas, that adds another 10%. This man is sitting at 34% damage reduction turn 1. He can survive quite a bit in the beginning fight. And then he will, as long as he can survive the first couple turns, you're good. Give him to round 2, and this man doesn't die with Kronas. So, again, I am making this list as if I'm preparing you for the upcoming buffs. This team will be very strong. I know this for a fact because it took me through my Shield Synergy team Synergy Shields, Lex Luthor, took me to chapter 33 very easily. Well, not very easily. It took me there. This team will work, and it will work well. You just make Hal your single target nightmare damage dealer. You just stack as much attack on him as possible. I would literally go 4 attack, 2 speed, and have this, because he's pretty much critting all the time, and then get him up to badge 30 with Jess, and this man will be just throwing out autos left and right, and his autos can really start adding up into serious damage. He doesn't need crit because he's going to be auto critting most of the time. So you just stack 4 attack piece with 2 attack percentage accessories and comms device, and this man will be just, his crits will hurt. It just needs a little bit of RNG to make it work. That's it. This team in the this team's going to get stronger too, which is why I say raise up your Green Lanterns. The Lanterns will become even stronger in the near future. Just saying. I think this team has a lot of juice to it and will be great moving forward. I do expect us to get a new team synergy for them though, so just take note of that. I don't think Lex is going to be the end-all, be-all team synergy. I do think they're getting another synergy. I just don't know when that will be. So that's why I'm saying this is a good preparatory team. Yeah, I think overall this team will do work. And I think people will be... Jess does a lot of damage. You put the wrist guard on her. Her autos are... Remember, her auto is also her ult. So wrist guard is cracked on her. I would be using it on her if I wasn't throwing it already on my Deathstroke. So... But for everybody, I'm just tell you all right now, this team will do work in the coming months. I will say this though, this is a heavy investment team. You do need to get both Lex and John to hire, like all of them need high badges. So this is an investment based team, but it will reward you with that investment because Pandora, especially rank 30 Pandora, is cracked. So I think badge 30 Guy, badge 30, all of these badge 30s are legitimately cracked. This is a team you build towards. I'm currently working on this team right now. I'm curious to see how this team will operate. And I think with the right amount of investment, this team will do work, and it is very free to play friendly in the sense you just need to wait for Guy. Do I think you should be building this exactly right now? No, but I do think in the future, like build towards this team, especially since we know that the Green Lanterns are getting a buff. So I would say start prepping for this team. I think it's very good. All right, let's move on to the next team. All right, so this team right here, Sacrifice. I have been testing this team out, and I actually think this is the best version of this team. I no longer think that Dr. Fate is the best in slot character on this team because of the Constantine change. So for me, this works okay right now because in the coming week, I am going to be building up my Star Sapphire Carol. Sorry. Because I do think that she's going to be a good slot in here. I've heard she's bugged. I have not seen this yet. I need to test her out. If she is, I hope they do fix this in the coming, like with the Brother Eye patch. But regardless, my point is she also just has an auto stun, so she's very good. Constantine's change to make it so his passive is now a sacrifice means that with Aquaman, he is constantly healing. With Star Sapphire Carol, she's that is happening every single turn. Now, Constantine is the main key here because Constantine is sacrificing every turn, which means that he is triggering Pandora's passive all the time, which means this team will, any team that's running up against them that is they're debuff focused, like if you're running against Bleed, Spurn, Frostbite, Weaken, they will struggle to keep debuffs on you because you're just going to be removing 3 stacks every single time if someone takes a turn. So this team is actually cracked. Aquaman is phenomenally good. Mara is phenomenally good. Mara does a lot more damage than I originally anticipated. Pandora is amazing. Constantine is amazing. Star Sapphire Carol has an auto stun. This team is very good. And actually, I think the best in slot version of this team right now, because Fate no longer is as good on this team because of the change. So you're not going down to 60% HP anymore. You're legitimately sitting in the 90s, 80s, and 90s. And so and you're going to be getting strong attack from Aquaman. You might be saying, well, that doesn't make Aquaman good. Actually, it makes him even better because now he's throwing out strong attack left and right. So it works out incredibly well. I think this team overall is phenomenal in the way that it operates. And it operates very, very well. And it does what you want it to do. And it keeps you alive. Aquaman, and it has a nice, you have 2 separate cheat deaths. Well, get out of jail free cards a little bit. If your character gets to low health, Aquaman's going to be throwing an invulnerability on them. And then you've got, the shield passive from Pandora. It's your team has a lot of ways to survive. And again, with the change in the coming week, Constantine does get way better with Aquaman. He gets way worse with Fate. I hope they change Fate in the near future, but at the same time, it makes the team a lot more free to play friendly. And I'll be real with you, you don't need to throw Carol here. You can throw literally any DPS on this team and it'll work just fine. Any DPS works here. It's literally the team is just them 4. But Carol is because I like the stun she has and she's green, so she adds to the overall bonus of the team. Okay, let's go to the last team here. Okay, last team. So, main tank, this is the most free-to-play friendly team in the game. I'm just going to tell you everybody straight out, you should be building this team. This team will give you everything. This team makes content easy. And please, devs, don't nerf it. Is that you run main tank, Nightwing, off tank Vixen. She's getting a buff. She's gonna become way tankier. Bloodsport, you don't even need to invest super heavy into him. I get him to rank. I mean, if this is your main team, then you do want to invest them to all rank 10, so you get them to level 300. Yada yada yada. You can start this team, and this team will take you through the entire game. Block is busted, and this team will carry you through everything. You can start with this team, and then not change it. And it will work for you for a very long time. And then if you do go, though, with Wonder Woman as your main DPS, you do need to invest more in your Bloodsport because you need better single target damage. And that he is going to be giving you that single target damage. So just an FYI, Wonder Woman's great for AoE, but she is not great. Is this the best in slot block team? No, but it's a very good team that will carry you through most of the game. This team should carry you through most chapters. This team should just straight up carry you through it, and you shouldn't have any issues. Especially when you start putting a lot of block on your 2 tanks. This team will just straight up carry you through most of it, because you will notice once you get badge 10 level 3 team synergy, Ocean Master, your team is very difficult to kill. Very difficult to kill. Put some good tank artifacts on. You get the his artifact, the Eskrima, chucks, and the nunchucks. And then for her, I would literally just put on the other epic one, the one where oh my god, Bane's Venom. That works perfectly on her. Make it so she's harder to kill. Give the heals so that team can actually stay alive a little bit longer. Team's great, guys. Block is the way to go. They're buffing Vixen, so start putting your resource in. You don't need Blue Beetle. I mean, there's so many ways you could run this team. It's literally just Make sure your Nightwing and Oceanmaster are built up, and this team will just straight up carry you. This is the free-to-play dream team of this game. Straight up. Yeah, this team works. I think overall, this is how I would play. If you're going for full free-to-play, I would build this way. I would invest, especially, I think be careful of the shield team, because it needs to get, you need heavy investment in it, but it will reward you late game. With the new buffs to these characters, they became very good. They will also help prep you for any future banners that are dropping that potentially are the Green Lantern related. Then when he comes out, this is one of those teams you just invest in as the game goes on. You can use the AoE team until that happens. There's so many, again, sacrifice. I would summon right now. I'm encouraging every person to summon for Aquaman. He will help carry your account. And he will help him and Constantine now, Constantine and Mara, it's like him, Constantine, Mara, and then run them on the Pandora team and then slot another DPS in there and you're good to go. It doesn't really matter which one you slot. Just slot someone in there that aligns maybe with the color wheel to make your team a little bit more attack and HP heavy. Other than that, your team it'll do work. It'll do a lot of work. Okay. I hope this video helps everyone. As always, remember, failing is just your first attempt at learning.